Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Medico Gyan, the final stop for all your medical queries. I hope everyone is good and taking care of themselves. Please subscribe our channel if not done already and press the bell icon button to receive further notification. So doctors, today we'll be discussing a very important topic, tracheostomy. So the question is, what is tracheostomy? It is the creation of the stoma at the skin surface which leads into the trachea. So tracheostomy is the creation of the stoma at the skin surface which leads into the trachea. It can be of two types. It can be temporary and it can be permanent. So basically there are two kinds of tracheostomy. One is temporary, one is permanent. Now comes what are the indications of tracheostomy. The first and the foremost is when the patient needs prolonged mechanical ventilation, which is more than 7 days. So when the patient needs prolonged mechanical ventilation, tracheostomy should be considered. It is considered in the patient of pneumonia, severe COPD, ARDS, MODS, and severe brain injury. When there is a need of airway protection against the risk of aspiration, then also tracheostomy should be considered. In patients of critical illness, polyneuropathy, and bulbar palsy, there is increased risk of aspiration, so should be considered. When there is upper airway obstruction, so here the upper airway is bypassed and a stoma is created into the skin surface. Inflammatory disease, benign laryngeal pathology such as laryngeal web, cyst, and papillae. This is a diagram showing laryngeal cyst. This is laryngeal web. You can see the web clearly there. In malignancy of the larynx also, as there is upper airway obstruction, so tracheostomy should be considered. You can see the cancerous growth in the left vocal cord. In cases of laryngeal stenosis, so we will bypass it, and hence tracheostomy can be considered. There is a stenosis of the larynx. When there is a need of facilitation of the pulmonary toilet. In cases of OSA syndrome. So all these are indications of the tracheostomy. This is an obese patient. There is increased risk of OSA syndrome, so tracheostomy should be considered. Now, what are the contraindications of having a tracheostomy? When there is an emergency airway access, difficult anatomy, coagulopathy, children less than 12 years of age, patients having bleeding diathesis, children less than 12 years of age, and when there is insertion site infection, all these are the contraindications in which the tracheostomy should be prevented. In children, the anatomy is distorted, anatomy is different, so tracheostomy should not be done. Now, what are the advantages of having tracheostomy? Why should we tracheostomize a patient? Because there is easy removal of the secretion, oral nutrition is possible, it is better tolerated, it allows the speech, it is more stable, and there is enhanced mobility of the patient. So these are the advantages of having a tracheostomy. You can see the patient is moving. It will decrease the dead space, it will decrease the airway resistance, and it will also decrease the work of breathing. So all these are the advantages of having a tracheostomy. Now, what are the types of tracheostomy? On the basis of the level, the tracheostomy can be divided into high, mid, and low. In this, in high, it is present above the level of thyroid isthmus. In mid, it is through the level of thyroid isthmus, and in the low, it is below the level of thyroid isthmus. So it can be high, it can be mid, it can be low. Tracheostomy can be emergency, elective, temporary, permanent, surgical, percutaneous dilation tracheostomy, and cricothyroidotomy. In this diagram, you can see the cricothyroidotomy, in which there is a piercing of the cricothyroid membrane. Between the first and the second tracheal ring, there is percutaneous dilation tracheostomy. The timing of tracheostomy. Tracheostomy can be classified as early tracheostomy and late tracheostomy. Tracheostomy can be done early or late, and there is no statistically significant difference in the incidence of VAP in the early and the late tracheostomy. So the incidence of VAP is not different. Early tracheostomy is done between 6 to 8 days, and the late tracheostomy is done between 13 to 15 days. And there is no difference in the incidence of the VAP in both of these cases, whether it is early or late tracheostomy. Now, what are the types of the tracheostomy tubes we have? The tracheostomy tubes can be uncuff versus cuff. This is uncuff tube, Jackson tube. This tube is known as Jackson tube. The cuff tube is the tube having high volume, low pressure cuff. There is high volume, low pressure cuff having the cuff pressure less than 25 centimeter of water. The tubes can also be classified into single cannula versus double cannula tube. This is a double cannula tracheostomy tube in which we are having two cannulae in it. One is the inner cannula and another is the outer cannula. If the inner cannula is blocked, we can easily remove it and clean it. So can be used in cases of emergency. If the cannula is blocked, then the inner cannula can be removed and cleaned. So can be used in cases of emergency. We can also have unfenestrated tube versus fenestrated tubes. The upper one is a fenestrated tube and the lower one is the unfenestrated tube. The fenestration is present at the point of maximum curvature, which helps in the speech. So it allows the speech. Now, what are the techniques of tracheostomy? The tracheostomy can be done by two techniques. It can be done by a surgical method, which is known as open surgical technique, or it can be done by a percutaneous dilation technique. So these are the two techniques of having a tracheostomy done. This is a diagram showing the surgical tracheostomy being done. In this, a transverse incision is made across the neck at about 1 finger breadth above the sternal notch, after which the surrounding tissues are dissected to identify the thyroid. Then the thyroid isthmus is divided to expose the trachea, after which the second tracheal ring is then divided and a tracheostomy tube is then placed into the trachea. So in a nutshell, this is how the surgical tracheostomy is done. It is mostly done by the ENT surgeon. We can also do it. We as anesthetic can also do it. But mostly nowadays we prefer percutaneous dilation tracheostomy. So now we will be studying about percutaneous dilation tracheostomy. Basically, there are three techniques by which we can do percutaneous dilation tracheostomy. The first and the foremost is Ciagla serial dilation technique. This is a picture showing the serial dilation using the Ciagla method. Another technique is a blue rhino technique. What happens in the blue rhino technique is hydrophilic coated curved dilators are used for progressive dilation of the tracheal stoma, and this is done in a single step. There is progressive dilation of the tracheal stoma which is done in a single step, while in the cases of Ciagla it is done in multiple steps. There is serial dilation. In blue rhino there is a single dilation. Another technique is a Gregg guide wire dilating forceps technique. In this, the forceps are used for the dilation of the trachea, and then the tracheostomy tube is introduced. So now friends, I will be explaining you the steps of the percutaneous dilation tracheostomy in a brief manner. I will be explaining you in the form of the flowchart, which may help you to remember this as well as to retain this. So let's continue. Basically, you will be requiring two clinicians, one to operate the fiber optic bronchoscope and another for the PCT to be done. After which, the cuff of the endotracheal tube is deflated and is withdrawn until the tip is just distal to the vocal cord. So the cuff is deflated and it is withdrawn until it is distal to the vocal cord. And then a transverse incision is made between the second and the third tracheal ring. Then what I will do is cannulation of the trachea is done with the help of a 14 gauge needle. After which a guide wire is passed into the trachea, and the guide wire is, you have to make sure that the guide wire moves freely via the cannula. Then the dilator is passed by the guide wire into the trachea till the black line. After which the dilator is removed, and then appropriate size tracheostomy tube is inserted over the guide wire. So this is how the percutaneous dilation tracheostomy is done nowadays. So friends, now I will be explaining you this in the form of the diagram. Intratracheal placement is confirmed by the aspiration of the air into the saline filled syringe, after which the guide wire is introduced. Then the guide wire and the guiding catheter are advanced till the safety ridge. And lastly, the tracheostomy tube is introduced and the dilator, guiding catheter and the guide wire are removed. So this is how the percutaneous dilation tracheostomy is performed. Now friends, come the complications of the tracheostomy. The complications of the tracheostomy can be divided into immediate, intermediate and the long-term complications. One of the immediate complications are hemorrhage, air embolism, surgical damage to the tracheal rings. In cases of intermediate, there can be delayed hemorrhage, displacement of the tube, surgical emphysema, pneumothorax, pneumomediastinum, infection, tracheoarterial fistula, tracheal necrosis, and dysphagia. And in long-term, complications include stenosis of the trachea, decannulation problem, tracheocutaneous fistula, and the scar. So the complications of the tracheostomy, as we have studied, can be divided into immediate, intermediate, and the long term. These complications do happen and should be taken care of. Now we will be studying about when can you decannulate the tracheostomy tube. It can be decannulated when the cuff reflex is adequate, suctioning is rarely indicated, you don't require suctioning, mechanical ventilation is not needed for more than 24 hours. It's been 24 hours and there is no need of mechanical ventilation. The patient is maintaining saturation even if the FiO2 is reasonably low and there is no new infiltrate on the chest X-ray. So all these are the conditions which, if present, you can think of decannulation of the tracheostomy tube. So thank you everyone for watching this short video on tracheostomy. I hope everyone understood this lecture well. Please do subscribe our channel if not already done and press the bell icon button to receive the further notification. Do follow us at www.medicogyan.com and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Thank you.